Good morning, Flosstube. Welcome to Sew Me Sarah. I'm Sarah and it is Sunday the 2nd of February 2025. You're very welcome, as I say, back here. I'm sorry that I didn't join you last week as I usually would every 2 weeks, but we had Storm Éowyn, which blasted its way through Northern Ireland and caused quite considerable damage across the country. Blew out our power for a good chunk of last weekend, which meant that I was playing catch up on Sunday rather than recording a Flosstube as I had hoped. We didn't have very much damage here to the house. I have never heard wind like it. We got a red weather alert and everyone was texted by phone, scared the dickens out of us. We've never had that before here, and the winds were something that I've never experienced before, so I don't really know how you guys who have hurricanes and things cope with that. It's very stressful. But anyway, it was mostly limited damage here. We had a few roof tiles were rattled and some of the pointing mortar fell out, but we didn't lose anything or have anything damaged. The greater inconvenience was really the loss of power. It was a weekend I was supposed to be working from home for the end of tax season, which was Friday the 31st of January, and I had brought work home for the weekend. And of course, losing power means all I was able to do was what I could run off the battery on the laptop until it ran out. So yeah, it was a fun, trying to explain to Charlotte that nothing works without the internet anymore either. So we did have all our devices charged up and we did have things downloaded, but of course the things we had downloaded for her were not the ones she wanted to watch on that day. And she wasn't happy that she couldn't just access all areas as normal. From chatting to some friends, I do believe that it wasn't just particular to Charlotte, that feeling that they were also struggling with their teenagers who were not happy to be disconnected from the internet. Anyway, these are the troubles of our modern life. But we're all good. As I say, we didn't have any damage here. We were safe and at home and together. No problem, just loss of power, and it meant that on Sunday I was scrabbling around trying to get washing through the machine for back to school and work on Monday, rather than spending my time sat here chatting with you. So I'm here today instead, and I've got lots to share with you, and I guess we should probably just get on with some of that. I do have a little bit of happy mail to show you. This was, it arrived a couple of weeks ago, and it was a belated Christmas card. So we all know that the post everywhere is kind of, well, it's confusing at the moment. So things got held up in all sorts of places. But this lovely card came from one of my viewers. I didn't ask permission to share her name, so I won't. But it was lovely even to catch up with that a little bit after Christmas. And she included in there a little chart from the trilogy for me to stitch. So I will stitch this at some point, and then I will share it with you. I have permission to share it, so I will stitch it and pass it on one of these days. Just on the topic of stitches that have been gifted to me, I do have a folder with lots of gifted stitches in, and it is something I want to do this year. With the 50 starts last year, I didn't really get to many of the gifts, and I was gifted so many beautiful things. So maybe I'll show you that on the next episode, show you that folder and the goodies that are in there, and I will methodically then try to pick those up and work through them. It's not going to happen quickly because you guys have been so generous and I've got so much in there. But I do want to stitch some of them and then spread the love a little bit and share them out with you too. So thank you so much for this, and thank you for sending your Christmas card and telling me all about your Christmas. I hope it was as lovely as it sounded like it was going to be. The other thing I want to do, a little bit of admin, is announce the winner of the Cabin in the Woods. Cabin in the Woods is a beautiful pattern by Flossabilities. I started it along with Marianne Johnson for her big birthday sale that she's doing this year, a milestone birthday sale. And I wanted one of you to be able to have the pattern too, so I bought this copy of Cabin in the Woods, and I'm going to send it to the winner of the draw. So the winner of Cabin in the Woods is Naomi C9070. So congratulations, Naomi. If you would like to get in touch with me and let me have your mailing address, then I will pop this in the post to you as soon as I can. You can get in touch, either use the email address that's in the drop down box below, or Instagram messaging. Direct message me on Instagram. I'm Somi Sarah over there on Instagram. Let me have your address and I will get this off to you as soon as I can. Okay, let's talk stitching. I had a couple of finishes in the time since I last saw you. The first is the Lace Maker's Cottage. This is a freebie chart from Stone Street Stitchworks and it's beautiful. I have been able to stitch her in one skein of Gentle Arts Cranberry. It's a beautiful, beautiful red. Can you see? Now I stitched her 2/2 on a 28 count. I think it's a 28 count. Let me double check that. I think it's 28 count. I'm really bad at telling you all this information at the right time. Sorry. It's 25 count Lugana. I stitched 2/2 and I managed to get all the way through the one skein with just about 8 inches of floss left. So what I haven't stitched, or if you can see from the pattern picture, there are lines. There's like a box around the alphabet and lines underneath. And I have to say, the whole way through stitching this, I wasn't sure if I wanted to put those in or not. But it's okay. The universe decided for me by making me run out of thread that I wouldn't put those in. So I didn't have enough thread to do them anyway, and I'm not going to order another skein just for that. Aside from the fact that here in Northern Ireland we are now like a postal pariah and we cannot order anything from anywhere, it seems, except from the EU, because of the EU's new General Product Safety Regulations. It's a whole other story for another day, and maybe I'll forget about it and you'll be lucky and never hear it. But basically it's become very difficult for us here in Northern Ireland to order from anywhere that is not the EU because of safety regulations. So it means I can't order any cross-stitch supplies from the UK or from international places other than the EU. I can't order birthday gifts from Etsy sellers. I can't order anything from, basically from smaller businesses who can't afford to put in place the regulations that are required from the EU. So I did say this was a story for another day. Anyway, yeah. The good news is I have upstairs a huge amount of stash that I can keep stitching with. And I also have good friends in the UK who I will be able to send things to just before I go to retreat. So when I go in October to Stitch in London, which I very much hope to do, when I go there, I'll be taking a big suitcase so I can bring back all of the things that my friends have been delivery mules for. Anyway, as I said, that should have been for another day. Didn't mean to get diverted into that. That is my my stitch. I ran out of thread and that answered the question of, do I want to do those lines or not? I think it looks perfectly lovely without. My next finish isn't really a proper finish of the chart, but it is a finish of part of the chart. So the part that I'm stitching is on Barbara Anna's 4 Seasons. This is a stitch along that I'm doing with Jackie from Comfort Stitching, and we are making this a year-long stitch along, starting each of the 4 ladies, I'll insert the picture up here somewhere, starting each of the 4 ladies on their relevant equinox or solstice. So on the 21st of December, we started the winter lady because we're both Northern Hemisphere stitchers. So winter is was the relevant to the 21st of December equinox for us. If anyone is stitching in the Southern Hemisphere, feel free to stitch the summer lady, and then you can just, you know, work through the 4 months the same way that we will. There's plenty of time for anyone to join us in this SAL still. So between the 21st of December and the 20th of March, we are stitching the first lady relevant to the winter equinox. On the 21st of March, we'll start the next one, which for us will be the spring lady. So there's still plenty of time for you to get your first lady stitched before the 20th of March. And then you can join us, continue on with us. Or if you want to just forget about the first lady for now and wait, please put in your diary, the 21st of March is the date of our next lady start. So I'm looking forward to that. But I finished her and she is so lovely. She is adorable. And I'm really, really looking forward to the next one. But it's kind of nice to be doing a SAL like this where that part is finished. We don't have to do the next part until then. So it's a nice way to have broken up the SAL. That was Jackie's suggestion and it's turned into a really good idea. Okay, my whips start with the daily thread. So my daily thread stitch is something that I choose to stitch every day as a kind of warm-up exercise to the main event of whatever I'm stitching that particular day. I will add one thread. Now, that means I will load my needle once. So it might mean that I'm using 2 threads in the needle if I'm stitching 2 over 2, for example. But for the ease of understanding, because it's a question I'm asked quite often, is what length of thread do you use? And, you know, does it mean a full length of all 6 strands, or what does it mean? So for me, the daily thread means that I will load my needle once with whatever length of thread I would normally use on that project, and however many strands I would normally use, whether I'm stitching 1 over 1, 1 over 2, or 2 over 2. So I will stitch with one needle's worth of thread is what I do for my daily thread. So anyway, on with the important stuff. My project is Dream of a Winter Garden, and this is a stitch along also that I started with Stitchy Sally on the 1st of January. So on the 1st of January she got some main time attention and then after that she's been a daily thread with the occasional focus day here and there as well. So I have done a little bit more than just the daily thread on her. We are stitching this and you're very welcome to join us if you have this in your stash, if it's already started, or if you want to make it a new start, you can stitch along with us. On Instagram you can have a look at the hashtag Winter Garden SAL 2025 and join us and share your stitches there too, so when we pop in to that hashtag we can see who's joining us. So this is the progress that I've made with, as I said, mostly 1 thread a day on these days that I stitch. Now Sally started in the center with the tree, which comes up here, and then there are 2 birds, a bird either side. So I think our pieces look actually really very different at the moment, and this one I don't think looks quite like itself, if that makes sense. I don't think the pattern looks quite like itself yet. I think it's just the birds and the tree really make it. So I love it, I'm enjoying it, and I'm really pleased to be making this kind of progress on it. I enjoy it being the first thing I stitch every time I sit down. Next, I have my Sunday stitch. So this year in my plans, I told you I was going to introduce a Sunday stitch, and that was, the aim of that was really to bring some focus stitching back to A Saviour's Praise. So I hope you can, I'll have it in this plastic, but I hope you can see it. It's a beautiful, beautiful chart. I started it a couple of years ago for my birthday and never really got going with it, not too much. So I'm making it a Sunday stitch, and that really means for me that it gets attention, reasonable attention, every other Sunday. Sundays that I record Flosstube, it might get an hour or so later on tonight. It might. On Flosstube recording day, there's actually very little stitching time. But here is my progress, and I have her all folded up, so hopefully I'll be able to hold it well. This is my progress on A Saviour's Praise. I stitched mostly since I picked her up again. I stitched mostly in here. I finished off a few bits and pieces of foliage, berries, birds, and I've added some initials in here. So the original chart does have initials surrounding, this is the top of a basket. So below here there will be a basket. And the initial chart has initials surrounding the basket. So when I first had the idea, I first wanted to start this chart, I wasn't sure what I was going to do about initials. Was I going to make it family initials? Don't know, didn't know. So I sat on that for a while, and somewhere after starting, I decided that I would put in here the initials of women in my life who have massively contributed to or been inspirational in my Christian faith. So that is who these folks are, and they are all kinds of women from all different ages and stages of my life, and I am very thankful to God that all of them have crossed paths with me and helped me along my journey. I have 2 more to fit in. There are 6 sets of initials on the original chart, and I wanted 7. And so this one here, I removed a bumblebee from the original design and added in the KS here. So there are 2 more to go down, I think on this side down here below the basket. No, probably this side, sorry, back to front. There's a lady to go on this side of the basket, and then there are 2 more sets of initials that I'll put in there. So it's going to be a very, very special stitch, and I love working on it. I'm so happy that I brought it back out again. It actually isn't a slow stitch. It actually stitches up quite well. It's just a very big stitch, but it's not slow when I'm working on it, and that's quite nice to feel like I'm making progress. And I've really enjoyed making it special by adding all those initials. And it's a reminder too to me of how blessed I have been to have those people in my life and making a contribution to my faith and my walk of faith, my journey with God. Anyway, that is the Saviour's Praise. Next, I've got Saviour's Praise, I forgot to say, was also on WhipGo, and it was called last month. So for my WhipGo board this year, when a project is called, my plan is to give it 5 hours of stitching, and she did. She got plenty of time, so that was a tick number 1. Tick number 2 for WhipGo was number 11. 11 was called, and it was Glitter Village. So here is Glitter Village as she is today. So early last week I finished up this block number 7. I had her started when I showed her to you in my whip parade, and this is number 7 of the 9 patterns. So looking forward to number 8 and 9 now. I love this, I really do. And it's quite nice at this time of the year to be stitching it because it's more wintry than Christmassy, I feel. And I love those soft colours. Those are the colours of my living room, and lots of those kind of colours through my house. So I'm enjoying this one and enjoying seeing progress. There's a huge amount of stitching in each one of these little patterns though. So much more than I ever realised when I actually bought the patterns, but no worries, it's going to be beautiful when it's finished. So hopefully I'll be able to get and move on to number 8 soon. That was Glitter Village. Oh, and it's by Country Cottage Needleworks. Then I stitched on my stitch along that is with the Historical Sampler Company. So their winter stitch along, which started on the 1st of January, is the Little Owl Patchwork Sampler. 3 parts of the 4 have now been released, but that 3rd part was released on Wednesday, and I've been super busy with work last week, so I haven't managed to get any stitching on it, but it's beautiful. I love the colours. It's such a fun stitch to do, lovely colours for this time of year, bright, wintry and warm. So I'm looking forward to stitching part number 3. It is a repeat in that the corners are all these like patchwork stars, and there's trees and an owl on each of the repeats, but the trees are different, and that's nice. So the next ones are beautiful too. So looking forward to getting back to that, but I did manage to catch up on part 2 and get that finished. And then another stitch along is the Across the Pond stitch along for 2025. This is a Facebook group run by Angie at the Tiny House Stitcher and Marie of Stitches and Diamonds. I love being part of this group. We have Zoom meetings once a month, and we are doing our first ever stitch along for the year on the Facebook page. So I have, we chose One Stitch at a Time by Ladi Da. We had a little vote back in October, I think, or late September, early October. We voted to have some options for our stitch along piece for the year, and we had suggestions put in, and then we brought the top 3 into a vote, and this was the winner of the vote. It's a beautiful pattern, available in hard copy or by PDF, so that was really helpful to the group so that we could all get access to it. And for the purposes of the stitch along, I divided the pattern up into 10 parts so that we have 10 monthly assignments for anyone who wishes to use them. Now it's very flexible. It's a very flexible stitch along. You don't have to stitch the 10 assignments if you don't want to. And in fact, some people have already finished the sampler and it looks so beautiful. It really does look lovely. So some folks, everybody's really doing their own thing at their own pace. But for those who found it helpful, like me, because I'm doing so many other things, I found it helpful to have it broken down. And I know this month I only need to stitch this bit to stay kind of on target. So here is my progress. I think I'd shared this with you last time. I was very nearly finished this top line. So it probably doesn't look really any different to the last time you saw it, but that was our first monthly assignment. So now in February we have the next assignment, which are the words below that. So it says, beautiful things come together, one stitch at a time. So we have that to be working on through February, so that'll be part of my plans. Really enjoying that, enjoying seeing all the different variations of fabric and threads being used for the pattern on the Facebook group. You can go and join if you like to stitch along with us. You can go and join the Facebook group, and at the top in the files section you will find the assignments and a document of general guidelines for the SAL as well there. So it's, you know, it's still open and you're all very welcome to join. Next is some progress that I'm going to share with you that I don't know that you'll really see the progress, but this is my full coverage piece, and I said I was going to try and bring it out more regularly. No idea how many millions of years it's going to take me, but my piece is Woman in a Field of Flowers by Ada Rosa. And I've started at the top left corner. So we're all in the sky up here. She's gorgeous, really gorgeous. And this is a bit of a challenge for me, but here we go. So yes, I've stitched lots more blue and green or sky. I promise it's coming on. I had 604 stitches put into this since I picked her up again. So it's progress. There are only, I think, 160,000 altogether. So 604 isn't making a big dent, but progress is progress. Okay, Next is another stitch along that I'm doing with a friend on Instagram. Marianne Johnson is celebrating a big birthday this year, and she is having lots and lots of starts. So she has a milestone birthday sale running on Instagram that you're all welcome to go and check her out and see if there's anything you'd like to join and stitch with her and support her through her year of stitching. But she chose Cabin in the Woods by Flossabilities as her first start for her birthday year, and I thought, oh yes, I'll be having some of that. I will join you. I've got the pattern. I've been dying for any excuse to start it. And so I did start it with Marianne. Now I'm making a little bit of progress, but as you can see, I've got a lot of stitching going on. And when I opened this one this morning, there's a thread stuck to it and a needle still mid-stitch. So I tucked the needle down, but I think basically what happened was I was stitching late one night, and then Charlotte came down out of her sleep. She came down, and I had to abandon ship, as it were, had to pack it away very quickly, and because I knew I wouldn't get back to it. But anyway, here we have the little cabin and the start of those lovely frosty green looking trees. So it's a very nice pattern, very beautiful design, and I'm enjoying stitching on it. So won't be fast progress, but I don't think anything, in fairness, I don't think anything's going to have fast progress this year. We'll see. I think I'm spread too thin to have fast progress, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so it's okay. That is all of the whips. Those are all of the whips, I should say. I do have 2 new starts, and since I've just said that I'm spreading myself thin, I really shouldn't have new starts, but I do. So Baldequin Birdies was gifted to me last year, before my birthday, but for my birthday, by my lovely friend Noreen, who had been at the Big Stitch, and she had been there and met Jacob and purchased this from him and got him to sign it for me, and it's all kinds of special to me, and it's also a really beautiful chart. So I've been itching to figure out well, I guess to come up with an excuse to start it, and then I just thought, I don't know if I need an excuse, let's just do it. So I started it. I know I shouldn't have, but hey. So I am stitching this on, let me tell you what it's on. I think it is, it's Light Sanditon. It's Light Sanditon by Swan Bay Fabrics. It's gorgeous, 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 and I'm using Weeks Dye Works Turkish Red, which is, I think, showing up a little bit more orangey than it is in real life. It's not orange at all in real life. It's just bright and beautiful. I was inspired, yeah, the problem is that when you watch Flosstube and you get enabled and you get inspired. So Sarah at Sarah's Stitchy Spot had started this and was stitching, and I was like, oh, I really want to have a go. Oh, no, you can't. But I so want to. And then she would show another picture, and she would hold it up, or she would put it on Instagram. I'm like, I want to start it. I want to. So I did. So it's lovely and just really beautiful, beautiful stitching as well. You know, it's like with Jacob, I just get in a flow. I can just go to a happy place with Jacob stitching. So that is the start that shouldn't be, but is Baldequin Birdies. It is the 2025 stitch along from Modern Folk Embroidery for this year. So it's, you know, it's still available. It's there if you want to join Jacob and the crew at Modern Folk Embroidery stitching it. And then my last start, which was yesterday, 1st of February start, was for the most recent Cotton and Twine subscription box. You know, I talked to you about this box on the last episode. This is their subscription box pattern for January. So they release it at the beginning of January for folks to see, to know that this is coming as the subscription. You can then decide to subscribe, or if you're already subscribed, you can decide that you want it, or you can skip it for the month, whatever. But they had this one, which was a collaboration with Emma Congdon, Stitching My Way to Happiness. And several of the floss tubers, kind of galvanized by Marie at Stitches and Diamonds, are getting together to stitch this one, the January box, as a stitch along. So if you received the subscription box and would like to stitch along with us, please do. The hashtag is, let me get that for you. The hashtag is Way to Happiness Sal. I'll put it down below. Way to Happiness Sal. We started on the 1st of February. I'll insert a clip here, a photo here, but you can find this on Stitches and Diamonds at Instagram. This is a picture where Marie shows the splits of 4 weekly assignments for this piece, so that if you follow along and if you keep up with the stitching, you'll be finished by the end of February. I don't know how many of us will be, but I'm sure 1 or 2 of us will be, but I'm also sure 1 or 2 of us will not be finished by the end of February. But it is split into 4 weekly assignments if you would like to join us. And the plan is to start one of the weekly assignments every Saturday. So yesterday we started with My Way 2, and here is my start. Now you can see I did a little bit more. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But it was so fun. I love stitching Emma Condon's typography. Love it. I stitched on a little bit into next week's, the second assignment, because I am not going to be around to do any stitching next weekend at all. So I wanted to do a little bit and last night when I'd finished, I thought, yeah, I'll stitch a little bit more. So it's beautiful. I absolutely adore the colors, just that bringing in the brightness now that we're through the dark month of January, and bringing in those brighter colors, just giving us a little peep of what might be coming in spring. We hope if we continue to have 4 proper seasons, we should get some pretty colors in spring. So that is the stitch along for the Cotton and Twine January subscription box. Please join us if you like to. Use the hashtag. I know you can't follow the hashtags anymore, but you can peek into them. You can click on them and have a look and see who's stitching what. And thank you to Marie for splitting that pattern up for us and encouraging us to stitch along and make use of the beautiful projects that we get in our subscription boxes. Subscription box for February for the Cotton and Twine subscription box. They are part of the Historical Sampler Company. Their February box is now available to sneak peek. It's on their website. I will link all of this below so that you can find it easily. It is a happy Easter, happy Easter design. I'll insert the pictures. It's a design that celebrates Easter, spring blossoms and foliage, happy hopping bunnies, all in beautiful colours. The subscription is open now, so if you would like to join this subscription, you can go ahead and do that now. It will close on the 25th of February, so you have between now and the 25th of February to decide to sign up. Then on the 25th of February, the ladies at Historical Sampler Company at Cotton and Twine will get together with their team and they will dispatch all of those boxes. And the subscription box is a box that contains everything you need to make the pattern. So there will be fabric in there. There is a choice of Aida or linen. There will be your threads all pre-sorted. The needle will be in there. So you have everything you need to stitch it, and your chart, obviously. The chart comes in this one. It's not like the stitch along where the chart is a PDF. The physical chart comes just like this. It comes at the back and the front. It comes as a physical copy, and then there's always a little gift item as well, which I believe this month is going to be a bunny ornament, and there's always a sweet treat, and they're always lovely sweet treats. And this time it's going to be a Valentine's chocolate heart. So that's what you will receive if you want to subscribe to the February box. It's very easy to subscribe, and it's very easy to cancel your subscription if you decide that you only want the one box. It's also easy to pause your subscription. You can skip boxes in the subscription. If you like the idea of the subscriptions for friends or even for yourself, you can purchase 3-month, 6-month, or 9-month 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month subscription, sorry. Which I think helps reduce the cost a little bit. The cost of the boxes, I think, is fabulous. I think this is a very, very cost-effective subscription. If you want the Ada box, the Ada kit, it's at £20 per month. And if you want the linen, it's £22 per month. UK postage is £3.99 and international postage is £12. So it's very, very affordable and very good value. Always quality products, beautiful swag art fabric, DMC threads, nice quality items. So they are sending me the box ahead of time, so I hope that by the next time I record, so 2 weeks time, I'm hoping I will have that to show you kind of in my hands, and might encourage you a little bit further into the subscription. But you can see from the pictures that I have inserted how pretty it is, and if you're interested, I will have all the details down below for you. So, oh, I should have said, I'm sorry that I didn't, I should have said that along with the chart and the needle and the thread and the fabric, you also get the finishing items. So this item is finished as a flat finish, and there is blue gingham fabric and rickrack in there, and on the YouTube page for Historical Sampler Cotton and Twine, there will be a finishing tutorial as well. So they give you the items you need to fully finish the project, and they also show you how to do that. So I'll remind you of all of that, and I will remember to say it next time in the proper section. So that is the February box if you're interested. So what will my plans be for the next few weeks? Honestly, I don't think I'm going to get very much stitching done in the next few weeks. This week is going to be minimal stitching. It's just a busy week. And then at the weekend, I am not going to be stitching at all, I don't think. So I will really probably just have 1 week's worth of stitching by the time I return to you. Maybe I can sneak in an extra few pieces here and there, you never know. The new WIPGO numbers have been called, so maybe I'll make a start on those. They're number 7 and number 8, so I'll find out what those are on my chart and maybe bring those in. I will continue with the little oil patchwork sampler, and I will try to stitch a little bit more on the Stitching My Way to Happiness as well. And then I have all those other sales that I'm that I enjoy being part of. But yeah, there's so many. I was thinking yesterday and today that maybe I need to have 2 Sweet 16 boards. One for all the sales I commit to, and one for my own stitching. For the sales and the kind of promotional stitching that I enjoy doing for Historical Sampler Company. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm ever going to see a Sweet 16 board properly again. Anyway, as I said last time, it's all about having fun, and if it's still fun, then it's okay. Okay, so yeah, so I don't know how much stitching I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks, but we'll see what happens. Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about getting connected, about being connected in our community. Some things are changing, so Instagram hashtags are making, I think, quite a big difference to how we can connect well and easily in our community, but there are still other ways, and I will do my best, even if it's not every time here on my channel, but I will do my best to keep sharing with you ways that you can join in what's going on with our community. So today I wanted to encourage you to use Instagram and follow stitchers, not just floss tubers, but people who don't have channels, people who are out there stitching beautiful, wonderful things. You know, anyone that you do follow may well recommend other people. It's always worth hopping about the recommendations that we see from other people who we already follow. And you know, if it's not your cup of tea, you just move along and see what the next thing is. But you will find people who are inspirational, people who could be floss tubers but aren't, whose stitching is, you know, 1,000,000 times better than mine will ever be, is so extraordinary stitchers, and they're posting on Instagram, and I think I wish there was an easier way for us, especially now that we can't follow hashtags. It's not so easy to find other folks if you don't already know them. But certainly if I'm posting on Instagram, I'm going to try to be better at including the names of the folks who've inspired me, or you know, or who I saw this project on their channel or whatever, on their posts or whatever, so that you can go and have a look at them too. And then you have other things going on Instagram that are outside of the Flosstube world as well, like Marianne's milestone birthday sal. She's doing that over there. She doesn't have a Flosstube channel, but it is something that you could watch, that you could encourage her. You can follow her and see what she's stitching for her milestone year, and then maybe if she's stitching something that you have or you like, you could join her for a few stitches, share a photograph of your stitching with her. That's how we can still make connections. So I do see that some things are getting more difficult, not just as easy to come across people, but there are still ways that we can. And also when you're watching your favorite floss tubers, many of us recommend folks that we see on Instagram. So, you know, keep a notebook and pen handy, or go and check out the show notes after a video. If that floss tuber does show notes, there will be very often they will put down the names of folks that they've mentioned while they've been chatting, and that's a way that we can get connected, see what's going on, and join in with the bits that we like and the bits that inspire us. The other thing is that there are obviously lots and lots of Flosstube channels out there. The algorithm's always throwing up new floss tubers. I see so many new floss tubers popping up. I wish I had more time to check everybody out, but it is something that you could do, is check out the new recommendations. If someone has a first floss tube, go and see what sort of thing they're stitching, you know, what they like, what they enjoy, and you will find people to be inspired by. Maybe not everybody, but you will find people to be inspired by. There are also some floss tubers who were floss tubing regularly before, but maybe haven't for a while and are coming back. Two of those folks I am so happy to see back are Deb from Frog Cottage Stitching. Deb is a designer from Australia, and her designs are gorgeous, really gorgeous. She came back with a very short video a couple of weeks ago, and I find Deb, I find her an inspirational person, not just about stitching, but inspirational, and I find her story inspirational. She has been a foster parent to lots of kids, many kids, and long-term foster parent, and I just so filled with admiration for people who choose to do that, people who choose to step into the lives of kids who've had it difficult, of kids with special needs especially, and that is the case for Deb's. And I don't mean to be sharing her story, but I want to share my admiration. Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot recently shared a quotation that said, "Never admire quietly," and I'm taking that to heart in my life at the moment. I'm telling people what I admire about them, and I have told Deb in the past that I admire her for the work that she has put in for other people's children for whatever reason, but she chose to do this. And as a parent of a child with special needs, I know how hard it is, but for someone who doesn't have to do it, I have to do it. I have no choice. I have my Charlotte, I love my Charlotte, but it's hard. But other people step in and they don't have to. And I've met several people like this. I met someone at the first stitch in London that I went to, who has stepped in and cares for her niece because her sister is no longer with them. And Deb, who has stepped in and cares for children long term, for children with special needs. And have needed support and love, and she's given them her life. And sorry, I got distracted on a tangent, but it's just to tell you how brilliant I think Deb is. She's also a fantastic cross-stitch designer. I have stitched several of her pieces. This was one that was designed by her as well. This was the Prim Alphabet sampler. She has shown some of sneak peeks of what is coming, so she has been away for a while, but has been designing and is getting ready to release some of those patterns. So I'm really looking forward to what they are. I saw yesterday that she has another episode up on her channel, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that, because I'd like a little bit more of her stitchy goodness. So anyway, Deb at Frog Cottage Stitching is back. Go and watch and connect with Deb. And also Jenni from Jenni Stitching Simply is back. So she's in a new place, a new home, new location. She has a different hairstyle, so she looks different too. It's very pretty, and it's good to see her. So I'm looking forward to catching up more with Jenni and her stitching. She did a whip parade just this week, so there's plenty to see there, and it'll be nice to be following her journey again, because I've missed her videos. I really enjoyed those before, and if you haven't watched either of them before, you could always go back and catch up and see what you missed. So those are other, those are, I was gonna say older floss tubers, but those are floss tubers who were very active for some time, and then they've had to take some time out, but they're coming back. So go and touch base with them, see what they're up to. Okay, I think you've probably heard more than enough from me today, so I've got a few special things to share with you before I go, and then I'll leave you in peace. One special thing, my main special thing that I want to share today is this pattern, and this is a new release at the end of January for February by Yasmin from Yasmin's Made with Love. So Yas designed this piece, and I have been really taken by the sentiment, the quotation in the middle of this piece. It says, "Let's cheer each other on and watch each other grow." And it's a quotation from an SM Wilson. The design is called The Growing Friendship, and I think it's such a perfect sentiment for, well, it should be perfect for all of our areas of life really, but it's a perfect sentiment for us here in the cross-stitch community. Let's cheer each other on and watch each other grow. I've been the recipient of that, and it makes a big difference in people's lives. So let's do that for each other. Let's cheer each other on and watch each other grow. Thanks for the beautiful design, Yas. It is inspirational, and I hope it's very successful for you. I know Yas has put out a lot of videos. She's been prolific at putting out, prolific at putting out new releases in the last week or so. So she has lots of pretties for you to go and see. So check her out as well. Again, I will link below to Yaz's website so that you can go there and see what she has to offer. I have a couple of couple of freebie goodies to share with you as well. So Jo Florence is on Instagram, and this is an account that is really worth following if you like samplers, elegance, traditional French style, European style samplers. This is one of the most beautiful Instagram accounts to look at that I have ever seen. And I really recommend it. So I will put the details below. I think it's Jo Florence 8 on Instagram. But she has a Valentine's pattern out now. It's in blue. She has stitched it in blue. I'll insert a picture here. It's called Jardin Romantique, so the romantic garden. And it's so adorable, and it's available for free. She did put it up, and I saw yesterday that she said she'd keep it for free for a little bit longer, just because there's been so much interest and it has had such a good reception. So if you are interested in it, you need to go to her Instagram and you need to private message her and say that you like the chart and could you please have a copy of it, and she will ask you provide her with your email address and she will email that to you. She has other fantastic and beautiful designs, but you have to email her for those. So you need to watch her Instagram account for when she posts her own releases. She also stitches a lot of other people's, but I promise you eye candy, true, beautiful, elegant eye candy if you go to Joe's Instagram. So that is a freebie that you could avail of. And the other freebie that released this week from Kathy at Hands On Design is her February pattern. Every year in February, it is her and her husband's wedding anniversary, and she designs a chart for him and she shares it with us. So I have stitched many of those, and I have many more of them in my stash, many more of the patterns downloaded and in my stash. And this year her pattern release is called You Have My Heart, and it is beautiful, beautiful. A little heart-shaped ornament. I know she's also selling on her website, for those of you who can have deliveries from her. She is selling a finishing kit so that it can be finished exactly this way. But the chart is free. It's on the bottom half of this page, which is why I've folded it up. But the chart is free. It is beautiful. And I will link that below for you. It's on her blog. So you go to the blog and then you click a link on the blog and that takes you to the chart. She does have others for many previous years. I think there was a blog post last year which kind of rounded them all up. I will see if I can find that and link it so you'll be able to access some of her other freebies as well. Okay. And as if that's not enough enabling, there are 2 new releases from Flossabilities this week as well. One is called Figs and Flowers. This is a beautiful, soft, gentle spring symmetry, geometric inner, and then a gorgeous fig border around it. So Lauren and Sam have been busy designing and charting that for us. And they also have this little Easter bunnies ornament, small. This would be great if you're going to a spring retreat or you just want to gift someone a little Easter gift. This is adorable. So those are I mean, there have been so many things, but I pick and choose a few that I love and I want to make sure you don't miss out on. So those are the Flossabilities new releases for this week. So today I want to share with you, now that I've encouraged you all to go spend all your money, I'm getting a reputation for that apparently. Now that I've encouraged you all to go and spend all your money, I think I should give you something for free, or at least the chance to have something for free. So I want to share my charts with you that I'm finished with of the Lizzie Kate strings. So last year I stitched 5 of the Lizzie Kate strings. I stitched 4 seasons ones, so the spring, summer, autumn, winter one and the Christmas one. So this is the spring one called Spring String. Then we have Buzzy String for the summer one. And then Thankful String is the autumn one. And Snowy String is the winter one. So this one's on display in my living room at the moment. And Merry String was the Christmas one. So these are just 5 of Lizzie Kate's strings. These are the 5 that I had. There are others. I think there are cats and Halloween and there are other ones as well. They're very, very fun to stitch. So I have all 5 of these to give away to one of you, to share with one of you. So if you would like to be in with a chance of winning the string patterns, please use the word string in your comment below, and that will let me know that you're interested in those. Please don't use any of the buzzwords in your comment like freebie or giveaway or competition or winner or anything like that, because it attracts the bots and I don't want a bot person to get hold of my patterns. I want it to go to a stitching friend. I want them to go where they'll be loved and actually stitched, not just added to somebody's eBay stash. Okay, so be over 18 so that I can ask you for your mailing address. Be a subscriber, please, and international entries are welcome. I'm happy to post these anywhere in the world that I can get mail to. So that is the Lizzie Kate Strings share away. And I think that's it for today. So please take care of yourselves until I see you next, and have fun with your stitching. And until then, stay well and stitch happy. Bye.